G'day guys, John Chenge here. Welcome to another marathon training video. I've got 5 weeks until the Australian Marathon Championships in Sydney, so it's going to be a big week of training. Now I started off today, I'm at one of the Adelaide's beaches. It's Seacliff, and there's a 3k esplanade stretch here which is nice and flat, good for doing workouts. So this morning I've done a wave tempo where I alternate between 1 kilometre of fast and 1 kilometre faster than that. So I did 8k's of that alternating speed set, and that's the first session done for the week. Last week was quite a big week as far as volume goes. Started to build up, was 169k's. This week hoping to get a bit more. Now given that I am going for more volume this week, I could have done an easier run this morning instead of doing the faster run, but I still got in reasonable distance because with the warm up and cool down it was a 14k run this morning. Doing an easier run around the local area this afternoon in Aberfoyle Park. It was a bit of a battle to head out there this morning. I was worried that I wasn't going to hit my times. I was feeling a bit tired, but one thing it's important to think about is that when you're training for a marathon, you can't expect to be feeling good all the time. So just to head it out there, the goal is to make the marathon pace feel easier by doing more running at around about that marathon pace. But you know, while you're doing it, yeah, sure, it's hard, but the reason why you're doing it is so that when you're a bit fresher, it really is easy on race day. And it was a pretty key session, so that's why I got it done. I was pretty happy with the fact that I actually did get out there and do it. It was raining all the way there, 15-minute drive, but then it was fine once I got there, so all good. Okay, yeah, so another good session, and just done a session in the city here, around the Botanic Gardens car park. I'd like to do reps around there with Casey and Andrew on Tuesdays, usually a bit longer reps, but this week Casey has the Australian Half Marathon Championships this weekend, so a bit of an easier session. So because it was an easier session, I did a 6k tempo beforehand, and the target pace for that was about 330k's, and I did that at a constant pace, sitting it on about 329, 328 average for the 6k's. And then we did some 600s, and the target pace for them was minute 51s, and on a 3-minute cycle, so about a minute rest, and that equates to about 3 minutes 5 pace for the 600s. So started off with that tempo session, and then going a bit faster than that again to make the tempos feel easier. You need to do some speed work, so some fast 600s. So 2 by 3 600s, so a total of 6 600s altogether for tonight's session. That makes a really good start to the week. So Tuesday I did a easy run this morning of 1 hour. So that makes a total of 60k's so far for just 2 days running for the week. So looking good so far. Now I'd like to talk a bit about recovery. The 600s was a standing recovery, so that allows you to run a fair bit faster than you would if you're doing just a jog recovery. Actually, there's a bit of interest there. The cars had a bit of an accident in the post there. Anyway, yeah, so I used to do my my reps as mostly as fartleks, but training with other people, it's allowed me to have more of a longer recovery, get more speed in, and that's pretty important, I think, to make sure you're getting enough recovery and build on that speed, and that'll make you a faster runner. Another thing about recovery is I've just had the the big 2 days training. So now it's Wednesday and I'm doing just an easy run today, and that's it. So I'll be heading for about 15 k's, which is not really a midweek long run, but it is getting in some decent mileage, but still taking it easy. You can't go hard every day, although that's what I had done back-to-back fast running days. But with the back-to-back fast running days, there was still easy running in between, and a reasonable amount of time between the sessions. Like it was at least 24 hours. I think a lot of people usually do a 48 hours between fast running, and that is quite good. Usually you can, if you're just training on Tuesday and Thursdays with the group, you don't need to run in between, just have that as recovery. But when you're chasing mileage, it's important to get in those easy runs in between. You can't go hard all the time. So with the easy day on Wednesday, it's now Thursday morning. I can run faster. I could have run faster in the run I've just done, but I've got a faster session tonight. I'll be heading to the city again for some reps around Botanic Park. It will be a shorter session, short intervals and not too heavy a session. I've decided that I will just do the session as is, rather than running hard this morning or running extra or harder tonight, because my main goal is to run a tempo tomorrow. So I don't want to tire myself out too much today, so that I can get through that tempo okay tomorrow. So that's the first run done on Thursday now. Just done a 1 hour easy run. So it turned out that I did a bit more of a session than a really light one. It was still not very difficult though. It was 2 by 4 by 400, so a total of 8 400s, and did them in a straight line. So do out and back twice, and then to have a break in between. So I did a jog back to an easy jog 400 in between, so I could keep the pace up for all 8 of them. So it was a target pace of 72s for them, which is 3-minute K pace, and did them on the 2-minute cycle. And you might be wondering, well, what was the taper session for the half marathon? Well, it was to run the middle 200 of each of my 400s with me at my pace. So that was a good session to do as a taper. Anyway, now it's Friday morning, doing my easy run for 1 hour, and I got the tempo tonight. I will be taking it easier on the tempo if I'm not feeling up to it, because I've got a big trail race on Sunday and don't want to be too tired on the start line for that. Okay, so you may be wondering why I would do a tempo on a Friday rather than another day during the week, especially considering I did a rep session on Thursday. It's more conventional to have a rest day on Friday or have an easy day on Friday. Well, the reason why is because I live in a fairly hilly area, and tempos are really best done where it's a fairly flat area and you can just focus on your setting the right pace for what you're aiming for. So I need to travel, like you saw at the start of the week. I went down to the coast to do a tempo. Otherwise I go into the city because there's lots of flat areas in the city where I can run. So on Friday afternoons I go pick up my kids. They live with their mum during the week, so I get to pick them up on Friday afternoons, and that's another opportunity to go into the city and do a tempo. So I've just done the tempo was along the Torrens Linear Park from the city towards the mouth of the Torrens and back, and the tempo I did was a build session rather than a alternating session or a steady state one. So started off, I was aiming for 3 minutes 40 and then build down to 3 minutes 20 ideally. But as you heard this morning, I thought, well, maybe I should back it off a bit, maybe only go to 3 minutes 30 as my faster pace. Well, when I was out there, I felt okay. I started off at 3 minutes 38, then I went a little bit quicker, down to 36, 34, 3 minutes 32, 27, 29, 27, 26. But before the end of that, I was starting to feel like I was working too hard, and it was becoming like a race type effort. So I didn't want to keep going at that sort of pace. So I decided just that'll be enough, 8Ks, rather than ideally I would have done 10Ks if I'd been feeling good and I didn't have a big weekend coming up. Now the big weekend I've got coming up, as you can see, we're driving along the highway now. We're heading up north. I live half an hour south of the city, so I just did this tempo session, picking up the kids, and now we're going north to the Cedar Summit Trail Race. Now there's the Cedar Summit Trail Race. It's the first time this event's happened. It's from the Spencer Gulf through Manbrae Creek, over the summit of Mount Remarkable, and then finishing in Melrose. I have done a similar event, which is from Port Augusta to Quorn, which is a road marathon through the Flinders Ranges, and that one has a highest point of about 420 metres with a total elevation gain of 500 metres. This one is going to be the highest point of 960 metres with a total elevation gain of nearly 1500 metres. So it's going to be very steep and hilly, mostly single track with fire trails as well. So it is going to be a bit slower, and it's going to be a fairly long day out there. But yeah, 42k long run. I'm not treating it as a full-on race, just as somewhere different to do a long run, but you know, fairly solid session. And I didn't want to go into that having done a race type effort on Friday. So yeah, that's why I thought, well, let's just go a little bit easier on Friday, and then hopefully I can feel a bit fresher for the race and just run through it fairly solidly. Okay, so today I'm down at Port Augusta doing their 8th park run. It's a very flat course, got the mangroves off to the side, a really nice wide concrete path. It's like super flat, so if you're looking to get a good park run time and you're in the area of Port Augusta, think about doing a run here on Saturday morning, 8 o'clock. Although I am comfortably in front of the park run at the moment, it is just going to be an easy day. I'm going to be running about 15Ks. Okay, so Sunday morning, walking out to the Cedar Summit start line, which is at the edge of the water. See behind me is where we're heading. Looks like a nice cool day. I think it's about 1 degree in Melrose at the moment, and it's going to be a maximum of 12 there today. So wearing a t-shirt rather than a singlet for today's race. Treating it just as a long run sort of intensity, so it should be okay without getting too sweated up. But yeah, just still got a bit of a walk to go before we get to the edge. Starting in a few minutes. Okay, so that's the Cedar Summit finished. Good day out, looks like we've got another running coming in. Yep, here comes third place now. I managed to finish it in 3 hours 47 minutes. Second place came in 4 hours 40 minutes. And now here comes a third place. Now I took a wrong turn, which added about 10 minutes to my time. Luckily I had a GPX viewer. I was able to backtrack and get back on the course. Also took a tumble with 5k to go, so a few grazes. I'd spend a bit of time in the medical tent to get all cleaned up. But yeah, it should be okay for my training this week. Just the grazes should dry over and be all right. Stay tuned for after I finish talking here. There'll be a summary of some clips that I took during the run, so you get a bit of a feel of what the course was like. It's the first time I've done the western side of Mount Remarkable, so
new to me, and so hopefully you'll get a bit of an idea of what it was like for me out there today. That makes it 195 kilometres in total for the week, so reasonably good mileage, a bit up from last week. Next week I'm going to be mixing up my training a bit, doing some longer sessions, so hopefully I'll get the mileage a bit higher again next week, and stay tuned for another vlog where I detail my training. Thanks for watching, guys.
Crowds gathered waiting for the start of the King of the Mount. Ready, girls?
Very much. 3 hours 48. It's unreal.
Good luck.
Yeah, I had the GPX on the phone, so
Awesome. Oh, you did really well. Congratulations.